Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. We are discussing the different verses of the Holy Quran regarding creation from our book, chapter number 4, the Holy Quran and creation. So far we have discussed many verses like creation of man, miscellaneous verses, creation of all things, creation of death and life, flawless creation. So today's topic is the knowing creator. That is, Allah Almighty has created the things and He has the knowledge of all things. He is of all creation knowing. He is not unaware of His creation. Allah Almighty says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم. قل say يحييها, He will give them life. الذي who أنشأها, produce them. أول مرة, first time. وهو and He بكل of all خلق creation عليم, knowing. Allah Almighty says, say He will give them life who has produced them for the first time, and He is of all creation knowing. The polytheists at the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they did not believe in resurrection. They used to say that when we are died and our bodies are decayed and our bones are disintegrated, how we will be resurrected and how we will be raised once again. So Allah Almighty says that, O Prophet, tell them that He will give them life once again. قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي أَنْشَأَهَا أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ, who has produced them for the first time. If Allah Almighty is able to create them for the first time, He is able to resurrect them, and He is of all creation knowing. The next verse is, this verse was from chapter 36, verse number 79. The next verse, أَوَلَيْسَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِقَادِرٍ عَلَىٰ أَن يَخْلُقَ مِثْلَهُمْ بَلَىٰ وَهُوَ الْخَلَّاقُ الْعَلِيمُ. Chapter 36, verse number 81. Allah Almighty says, أَوَلَيْسَ, is it not, الَّذِي who خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ, created the heavens, وَالْأَرْض and the earth, بِقَادِرٍ able, عَلَىٰ أَن يَخْلُقَ, to create mislahum, the likes of them. Bala, yes indeed. Wahuwa, and He, al khallaq, the supreme creator, al alim, the all knowing. That is, He is the knowing creator. Actually the polytheist believed in the existence of Allah Almighty, that the creator of this universe exists, but they associated partners with Allah Almighty and they denied the resurrection. So Allah Almighty says that you believe in the creation of the heavens and the earth, that Allah Almighty has created the heavens and the earth and all the things. Then why are you in doubt regarding the resurrection? If He can create the heavens and the earth and He has produced you for the first time, then why are you in doubt about the resurrection? So Allah Almighty says, is it not who created the heavens and the earth, able to create the likes of them? So Allah Almighty says, Bala, indeed, yes indeed, He is able to create. وَهُوَ الْخَلَّاقُ الْعَلِيمُ, and He is the knowing creator. The next verse is, أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. أَلَا يَعْلَمُ, does he not know, man khalaq, who created, وَهُوَ and He, al-Latif, the subtle, al-Khabir, the acquainted. In this verse, Allah Almighty mentions His knowledge in association with the creation, that the one who has created the things, He definitely has the knowledge of all the things. أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ, does he not know who created? That is, who has created this universe, who has created these all things. He must have the knowledge of all these things, and He is the subtle, the acquainted, the all aware. The next verse is, وَمَا تَخْرُجُ مِنْ ثَمَرَاتٍ مِنْ أَكْمَامِهَا وَمَا تَحْمِلُ مِنْ أُنْثَى وَلَا تَضَعُ إِلَّا بِعِلْمِهِ. Chapter 41, verse number 47. وَمَا and not تَخْرُجُ comes out مِنْ ثَمَرَاتٍ any fruit مِنْ أَكْمَامِهَا from their coverings. وَمَا تَحْمِلُ and not bears مِنْ أُنْثَى any female. وَلَا and not تَضَعُ gives birth إِلَّا بِعِلْمِهِ except with his knowledge. So Allah Almighty says that all the fruits coming out of their coverings are in the knowledge of Allah Almighty. The next verse is وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. Allah Almighty says, وَلَقَدْ and certainly خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ we created man, وَنَعْلَمُ and we know مَا تُوَسْوِسُ what whispers bihi to him nafsuhu his soul. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ and we are nearer ilayhi to him min hablil warid than his jugular vein. So Allah Almighty says that certainly we have created man and we know what his soul whispers to him. And Allah Almighty says that we are nearer to him than his jugular vein. Chapter number 50, verse number 16. The next verse is Allah Almighty says, قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضَ مِنْهُمْ وَإِنَّنَا كِتَابٌ حَفِيظٌ. Chapter number 50, verse number 4. Allah Almighty says, قَدْ certainly عَلِمْنَا we know مَا تَنْقُصُ what diminishes al-ardu earth minhum of them وَإِنَّنَا and with us kitabun book hafizun guarded. Allah Almighty says that certainly we know what the earth diminishes of them, and with us is a retaining record. That is when the people die and they are buried in the earth, their bodies decay and the bones are disintegrated and all the particles are absorbed into the earth. Allah Almighty says that we are aware of all these processes, what the earth diminishes of them. That is what particles of their decay and disintegration are absorbed into the earth. Allah Almighty says that these are in our knowledge. So Allah Almighty is the creator of all things. He is the controller of all things and He has the knowledge of all things. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran, الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran that He has created the heavens and the earth in 6 ayyam, 6 days or 6 stages, and He is the controller of all the events going on in the universe. يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. And He is of all creation knowing, as we recited these few verses. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.